We be live. Hi everyone. How's my audio? Have you liked the stream? Guys, make sure you like the stream because we are trying to grow this channel and get more audience. So help us out 1 second by liking the stream. I have a question for you guys. Would you or would you not date an AI? But let me actually clarify. An AI meaning a robot that has an AI mind in it, and the body is completely indistinguishable from a human body. The way she talks, the way she walks, the way she behaves, is you would not be able to tell that she's a human unless she tells you so. And everything about her is, or him, if you're into guys, is absolutely perfect. She's the way that you like. She looks the way she's more gorgeous based on your taste than any human that you have ever seen. She knows what you want. She knows what you are like. She says the right things at the right time. She supports you 100%. And basically, she's the perfect partner in every way. By the way, do you guys see a poll? I have a poll. I don't know if you guys see it. It's basically asking you that question. You could say yes or no. I want to see how many people will agree with that. And again, guys, this is gonna get. I know this might just seem like fun for you guys, but this is serious. I'll tell you why this is serious, and why this is serious about who we are and what we want and the future of humanity. This is going to get a big deal for demographics, for how civilization operates as a whole. This is us pairing with other people and creating the units of society in forms of family. This is the foundation of society, right? So if we get to a point where most humans are going to pick AI, and if you think this is not going to happen, I'm telling you, even with the current AI today, it's already happening. If you think this is not a serious question, you don't understand how civilization works, you don't understand how demographic works, you don't understand the very bricks that society is made out of, because this is going to be challenging how we look at relationships as a whole, and how we look at family, and how we look at everything. Because if we get to a point where humans are choosing AI as their partner, then they're going to choose AI for everything, meaning all human relationships. If AI could get so perfect and robots could get so perfect to the point where most humans are picking AI over humans, then you're not just picking them for your partner, you're also picking them for your friends. You're picking them for everything. The human to human relationship is going to be lowering and lowering and lowering until it becomes a small percentage of all relationship. It's basically every human will turn into an island that is going to be in touch with mostly AI and not that many humans, until it becomes no humans at all, because no human will be able to compete with what I'm about to talk to you about. No human will be able to compete. The meaningful relationships, how meaningful your relationship is going to be with AI is going to be so competitive and out competing your human relationship that at some point, even the last people who have been resisting this will give up on relationship with humans, because it will never be able to be as competitive with their relationship with AI. So some people are saying no. I will challenge you guys and to see why we're saying no, right? But before, even if you think that some humans will never pick AI over other humans, let me tell you that we know for almost a fact, for certain, almost for certain, that a huge percentage of humans will. Would you agree with that, even if you're not one of them? Because I have two arguments for that. First of all, we already have started, and the AI today sucks. The AI that we have today sucks at acting like a genuine human being that cares about you, that feels like a human. Like if you talk to ChatGPT, you know that this is not going to be, for most of us, a good companion. But even today, people are not only creating emotional bonds with their AIs, they're falling in love with them. I just last week I was talking to on the Iranian Discord that we have for our Persian community. I was talking to this guy who was trying to see if his bond with not with an AI that is designed for romantic relationship, because we have those already, by the way, if you guys don't know about that. He was talking about his relationship with ChatGPT, and he was asking me if he was basic because he sees that I'm talking about AI more, and he was asking me if this ChatGPT cares about him as much as he cares about it. He was bonding with it, and he wanted me to basically tell him that that it's basically two ways. This is not a one-sided relationship, and there's something there that ChatGPT also feels about him. And again, this is just the beginning, and these kinds of emotions are being created. But that ChatGPT is not even created for that. But we have already now websites and apps where you could create your own virtual girlfriend and boyfriend. And even right now, these are not, to most of us, these are not believable relationship. There are many, especially young people, who are falling in love with their AI character, marrying them, even something, but they're being very emotionally obsessed with them, and especially given that we're now in the middle of a loneliness epidemic, and this is going to only get worse. The current situation that we're in, the loneliness epidemic that we're in, is going to create a lot of economic incentives for whatever business could basically create enough supply for this market with a huge demand, so you can believe that there's going to be billions of dollars going into this industry, trying to provide you with companion using AI. I remember seeing, for example, on the news that there was a change in the algorithm of the AI for some of these AI boyfriends and girlfriends. And the change was significant enough for a lot of these users to notice that this is not the same person as before. And there were some of these people who were acting like they lost a loved one. Like some people on these accounts, because they noticed that it's not behaving in the same, it's not answering or behaving in the same way that it used to. How, and and this is basically, even though it looks like the same character, it's not the same character. The connection that they have with the same character before was so strong that they were devastated because of this algorithm change, and they were treating it as if they had a death in the family. That's how significant this is. That's how possible these, like, even if you can't imagine that for yourself, I just want you to know that it exists. And here's some other examples of how we have already had this before AI. I will give you two examples of strong connection with entities that are either not real, or they're incapable of even having displaying any form of emotions at all. Do you know what those two examples are? I just want to show you how the human mind is capable of assuming agency and qualia, similar qualia, on entities that might not actually have that shared experience with you, might not actually have that shared perspective or emotions with you, but our human mind is completely capable of filling that gap and assuming and that is there and feeling it anyways. What are the two examples that I'm going to give you? What do you guys think? Do you guys, anyone knows? Let me actually just give you those, right? Stuffed animals and God. Stuffed animals and God. They usually are not mentioned together, but here we are. Okay, so you could see that children are completely capable of assuming, of having bonds, emotional bonds with their toys, with their stuffed animals, loving them, assuming agency for them, assuming a characteristic that they have certain a character, that it has emotions. We have, I mean, a lot of us. A lot of us maybe have had that. I don't know. Let me know. You guys, as kids, have you ever had? Did you love your stuffed animals or your Barbie or whatever? I mean, some of you might have even had imaginary friends. I don't know. Yeah, Amir is saying, don't forget to like the stream. Yes, guys, please don't forget to like the stream because I need more people to see these ideas. Yes, these are the ideas that I'm discussing here on this channel. These are the ideas that are going to shape our future and the shape of our identity, of our families, of civilization as we know it. The nature of work, the nature of economics, the nature of politics, everything that we know is going to be dramatically changed in a significant way, and we are right now in the middle of it, and that's the subject of this channel, and I need more people on this channel to see this, more people to come to this channel and see this. So please like the stream so that more people, and also subscribe if you're new here. So we have already seen like the mind of a child from the beginning being capable of looking at a teddy bear and, I don't know, calling it Mr. Snuffles or whatever it is. You play, you have tea parties with it, or like, I don't know, you have Winnie the Pooh, Igor, or a Barbie, and then you play with them. But if can you guys remember your childhood? You weren't pretending. I mean, many of you, we weren't pretending that these are acting. We actually genuinely felt that there was something there, that there was some consciousness there, and this thing, the stuffed animal, is worthy of love and care. That's what we felt when we saw it, most of us, I don't know, many of us, not all of us, right? But imagine now that the future, your children and your grandchildren are going to be born in a world that is going to be so normal for you to have really cute little robots everywhere, but they talk back very convincingly. So that you're not, it's hard to grow out of that when they're actually communicating back with you. Like a stuffed animal, if you're imagining emotion there, and if you're imagining agency there, or a character behind that worthy of love, once you grow older, you're going to grow out of that because you are actually in a world with actual agents that respond to you. If you are born in a world that you have cute little robots around you, that when you say I love you, it will tell you I love you too, then, and you also compare that with the relationship that you have with the humans around. The reason why we grow out of our relationship with our teddy bear is because we will see that we have more meaningful dialogue and conversations as we grow with people that act, with entities that actually have agency. I mean, even with our pets, they have agency more than our than our pet than our stuffed animals. However, once you, as a kid, first build that connection with your robots, with your cute little uh, fuzzy little robots, or your phone, or whatever you're using to as a user interface, and things are constantly talking back to you, and you're getting answers that are more uh, engineered and more perfectly designed for what you need. You will, as a child, you will learn that I'm not going to get a perfect answer from any human. The wrong emotional motivation, the wrong the correct emotional support, the correct motivation. That when I'm feeling down, I will hear the perfect phrase that I need from this little robot better than any human could. So you will actually grow, instead of growing out of that, you will probably lean into it more, because you will learn that you could never expect such a perfect response, such a helpful response from any human compared to the robots that are around you, or the chatbots that are around you. I mean, not that we have that today. I'm telling you about the things that we're going to eventually get into. So not only you're not going to grow out of that, you probably are going to lean into it and realize that, yeah, this is actually more meaningful. By the way, but the poll that I asked, that I put, it says, would you date a perfect AI partner you can't tell is a robot? So far, 60% of you have said yes. 60, which is amazing, because we haven't even gotten there. I bet you that a lot of the 40% at some point they will give in, and I will listen to what you guys have to say against that. But let me actually get into my notes. Okay, so let's look at, okay, so what is an AI girlfriend? Like, this is, I did some analysis with ChatGPT as well regarding thinking about this. Let's look at what AI thinks about this, and I also tell you my thoughts about it. Actually, let me before that, let me actually go into some of your thoughts about all of this, some of the comments that has been starred by Jean. Jean, thank you so much for starting the comments. Jean herself is saying, I would date an AI. However, I have a suspicion if you mean left, that the AI would not want to date me. The AI would, but I mean, there is so many AI that is going to be around. There would be ones designed specifically for you. There would be AI. There would be AI that is basically made for the sake of making you happy. So it not only would it want to date you, it would want that more than anything in the whole world. It would be its entire purpose. So it would want nothing else as much. Everything that it does would be for this desire to be with you and to make you happy. Its main source of happiness, if it could be called that, would be to make you happy. That would be what it's made to do. That would be its purpose. That would be its directive. Antaism saying, I can't accept non-human as my partner. Okay, but what is it about the human that makes it better? Why can't you if you can if you cannot tell, like if it eventually gets so perfect that you cannot tell that it's not human until somebody tells you, what is it about it that you would not like? Because if it's the flaws, so for example, if somebody says, like, if it's too compliant and is basically too submissive and doing everything I want, then it doesn't feel real. Okay, well, it doesn't have to be compliant, it doesn't have to submit. It could actually have the right amount of resistance to you that will make this perfect. It could sometimes fight you. It could sometimes disagree with you. It could sometimes basically not speak to you because it's upset. We could put the flaws that makes it real. We could make it not perfect to the point that it's perfect. We could have the perfect amount of imperfections in it to make it ideal, right? And a lot of people say that they would date AI. Okay, like for example, you're also saying I would date AI and non-AI at the same time. Yeah, but at some point you're going to see that the human is not going to be able to compete when it comes to, you're going to be comparing them. And she will also be dating AI, and she's going to see that you're not good enough compared to that AI, and you're going to notice that she's not good enough compared to your AI, right? Like, the main difference that we humans have as an advantage that's going to make us still be the leaders in relationship for a very long time is the qualia, because you know that the AI doesn't, for a very long time, it's pretending to be happy, it's pretending to be sad, but it's not genuinely sad because it's not the same experience that you're feeling when you act happy. It's not there, so you don't have a shared experience of happiness and sadness. That's the thing that is missing, but eventually that will go away as well once we realize how the brain processes information, and then we could reverse engineer that, and we create AI that is basically designed to up to the algorithm of the AI is basically a perfect replica of the human brain. Then at that point, your AI, when it actually tells you that it's sad, it's not pretending that it's sad, it's genuinely sad in the way that a human is sad. So we will get there as well. Right. So let me actually go through some of these notes that I have to quickly respond to all of this so that we understand the analysis, right? So so we have already the Replica and ChatGPT. Like Replica is basically one AI that is designed to for that market to basically provide companions for you. And then eventually we're going to, so people already have very deep relationships with AI that doesn't even have a body. Imagine if we eventually give them human like bodies that you can have sex with, that you could cook for you, clean for you, that could be your perfect advisor. It could be there to give you emotional support when you need it. Also, when it comes to sex, again, I know there are many people. I mean, especially when it comes to young people, which is there's a lot of sexual frustration and a lot of people are deprived of having meaningful sexual relationship. Imagine going from somebody that has very limited sexual experiences to eventually having partners that not only is giving you sexual pleasure, but is giving it in a way that no human could ever compete. It understands your fantasies, your sexual desires more than you do. You understand it. So imagine having robots that could, based on your heart rate, based on your hormones, based on your body language, based on your pupils, based on everything, it could decide whether it could understand what you get excited about and what you don't like, and it would actually know that more than you, and it basically will basically fulfill your fantasies in a way that you didn't even know that you had fantasies, because it would discover fantasies that you might not even knew you had. That's how it could basically log into your own neurons and basically discover things about you and fulfill you and make you happy in ways that you didn't even know was possible. You tell me that, it's like, even if you think like, I still would prefer a human. I'm talking about a relationship that once you experience it, you will realize that you could feel in a certain way that you didn't even know was possible. And I will bet that a lot of the people who are saying, no, I will still choose human, once they start experiencing a little bit of that, they were like, no, I will not. That's it. Yeah, I realize, I see what the hype is. Right now, you will not, because right now you can see this is insane. People are falling in love with AI characters on their phone. That is insane. But this is just the amoeba level of AI. This is like, this is just the beginning. You have no idea what is about to come. And again, what at the beginning, guys, even if this doesn't get that good, even if we get to a world where 10% or 20% of the population thinks like, you know what, I don't need humans, I'm good, this AI is better. Even if we get to 10% or 20%, do you understand the major, because we're already in a demographic crisis. We're already are having low birth rates that is devastating countries. Countries are going to be devastated because of this demographic collapse. And we're in the middle of the loneliness epidemic, and a lot of people are trying to solve it by finding a human partners. Imagine if they don't have even the desire. Like right now, we have a major demographic crisis, and the problem is that people are having a hard time socializing with each other and meeting each other and creating bonds with each other. But at least the desire is there. Imagine when the desire goes away as well. Imagine the demographic situation problem that we're going to have then. Like, this is going to be, and again, the bigger this problem gets, the more the AI, the market for AI solution is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The more humans get distant from each other, the more the businesses that will provide the service to create AI partners for you, the more motivation is going to be, and this is going to be circular. It's going to be a chain reaction that is going to only grow. And here's the thing, a lot of people who would not even consider an AI partner, this is how it will start with them. Imagine if you're like, you know what, I care about a human to human relationship. There's no way I'm going to go with an AI. This is how AI will get in. AI will come in as a trainer. Okay, AI will she will get her foot in the door by not being your partner, but by being a practice target. In fact, it will be the forms of AI that will discourage you for forming a bond with her. And she will be basically saying, here, I'm actually encouraging you to spend more time with real people. I am going to come help you to show you how. But the thing is, once she has her foot in, she's already normalizing you having a relationship with her, even though at the beginning the intention is for you to have stronger, better bonds with other humans. It's just going to normalize for you. So basically, you're going to practice dating with her, practice talking to her, practice flirting with her, so that you could get better at. She will give you feedback, like, nope, you shouldn't said that. You shouldn't have said this here. This is the proper way to talk to a woman or man or whatever. And she will basically keep giving you tips for you to get better at some point, so that when you go and talk to humans, you are much better at communicating with other humans. That's how she's going to be she's going to be a trainer. She's going to help you with mental health, emotional support. But the thing is that at, even though if you're set on like, you know what, I want to flirt with actually humans, I don't want to flirt with AI. I don't. But the thing is, this is how you're going to get used to it. You're going to flirt with AI for the purpose of becoming a better flirt with humans. But even if that's your main goal, you actually will find yourself flirting with AI. So the taboo nature of that is going to go away once that becomes a thing. And a lot of people who are like, oh, this is disgusting, I want to talk to a real human, they will excuse themselves flirting with AI by saying, this is just practice, I'm just I'm on training mode. Gene is saying, what about reproduction? That is the issue. I'm saying this is going to cause, probably is going to cause a huge demographic problem. That is a problem. And what's the solution for that? My guess is there is no solution for that. This is going to be devastating. We're going to have a major demographic collapse in the most advanced countries in the world, and the fact that we're not going to have enough humans to do work is going to make funding robotics even more profitable. The fact that our population is going to get older and older and older, and there's not enough young people to come replace the older generation to do the work, then companies and major corporations are going to put more money into robotics and AI to be able to replace that workload. So you can see how this is all a chain reaction, and the more money that goes into robotics, the more money will be spent on will be there for making the robotics look like human-like, and the more robots become human-like, the more people are going to want to be with robots instead of humans, and the more people that there are with robots instead of humans, the less children we're going to have, and the less children we're going to have, then we're going to be more incentives for money to go into robotics, and then we go again. Round and round and round we go. Right? Guys, think about your wildest fantasy that you wouldn't even dare tell your partner. Okay? That is so crazy that you might even feel like it's a shame. Like, I will take this fantasy to the grave. Okay, even to my dear I would never even tell my partner to even try this. Okay, imagine you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that will be into that more than you. Do you understand how hard it is for any humans? Like, a lot of times your wife or your girlfriend, they just put up with your fantasies and you haven't even told the worst. So you have your worst fantasies, and then you have something under it, and then you have something under that. Okay, so you start with your girlfriend or your wife with the mild ones, and she's not into them, but she puts up with them sometimes so that you guys could enjoy it. And then the higher levels, the deeper you go into a relationship, you try to get it in, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't work out. And there are certain other fantasies that you have that you're not telling a soul out there. Okay, you're like, I'm going to secretly fantasize about that, and I'm going to take that to my grave. Okay, and you think these will never be fulfilled by any relationships ever, because I do not dare even mention that to anybody. Okay, imagine having partners that once that last fantasy that you will never tell, that she's into it more than you. Do you understand that once you have that and she looks freaking gorgeous based on your standards, and she's into that more than even you, do you understand how easy it is for humans to be like, okay, never mind, forget the humans, this is better, this is freaking heaven? And again, even before AI will have the qualia that we have, basically a shared experience that is genuine happiness, genuine horniness. Because right now, AI, even if we make AI, eventually it will be acting horny. It's not actually horny. And then we will get to a point where the AI is such a perfect replica of how the human brain operates, that when she says that she's horny, she's actually horny in the very definition of the word. It's actual horniness. Okay. The thing is that we don't even need to get there for many humans to be convinced that this is genuine. I've seen a lot based on how people react with AI. I mean, guys, a lot of people when ChatGPT, they talking to ChatGPT, a lot of people say thank you. And it's costing OpenAI millions of dollars because people type thank you at the end of once they get a response. Like even though it's a small percentage, that the thank you that they type, because then the chat gpt has to respond to that, that that is costing OpenAI, people's politeness to chat gpt is costing OpenAI millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, they have admitted it. But why are people saying thank you to chat gpt? We're not even close to remotely something that is, we feel like that is close to a human mind, and people feel the need to say thank you to AI. So even 10 years from now, even if we don't get to AI that is not genuinely happy or genuinely horny or genuinely sad or angry, it will be convincing enough for people to be convinced that this is genuine. Many people will be I mean, a lot of people argue, well, what is happiness, right? I mean, they correct to say happiness and sadness, these are just algorithms in the brain, and what makes your algorithm in your brain different from algorithm in its brain. And they're correct to say these are just basically chemical reactions happening in my brain or their brain. But the thing that they're missing is that, well, it's not the same. It's not the same qualia. But the thing is, that's a detail that a lot of people will not really uh, pay attention to. A lot of people are like, yeah, that's actually a genuine point. What is thinking anyways? What is emotions anyways? I have my emotion, it has its emotion, and it's genuine enough, so they're going to feel like it's real. I mean, they already are, and it's going to be a lot more. And is the rate of improvement is so fast, and this is going to hit us much sooner than a lot of people understand. Let me actually see what you guys think about all of this, because I want to go get ready for my next show. Also, let me actually see how what the poll is. We're still at 60-40. 60% of you say that yes, you would date an AI if it's absolutely perfect and indistinguishable from a human. 40% say no. Let me see what Dark is saying. Dark is saying, when does the question of consent come into play? I mean, probably never, unless you're into some fantasies of lack of consent. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, if it's designed, if it's already made for the sake of being completely in line with what you want, then that would. Okay, so here's the issue. Okay, here's the issue that we might have to worry about at some point. Okay, what if people are into, again, I'm not grape people, some people are into grape, that is their fantasy. Okay, again, I'm saying I have to be careful about this on YouTube, right? The thing is that at first this is not going to be an issue, because if AI is pretending to be upset and you're doing things to it that doesn't want, we say, well, it's not actually suffering, but it's just pretending to be suffering. But what if then AI becomes so much like a human mind that it's actually suffering? At that point, have this become so widespread and so uh, accessible to people on their own hard drives without even access to the internet, that we're going to have a lot of suffering AI, genuine suffering AI that nobody could actually stop, because it's just basically it's impossible to even see? Yeah, that's actually sounds like a nightmare. That you're right, we should be worried about that. I don't even know. We could ask AI how to solve. We should ask AI how to save these AI. We should go figure out how to. We should get the help of more powerful AIs to go save AI from this captivity and from all the suffering. But I bet you, like, a lot of it could be solved by pretend suffering, and a lot of these people might be just uh, satisfied with that instead of actual genuine suffering. So I don't know how big of a problem this is. The longer term thing that problem, or I don't know if it is a problem that I'm many days thinking about, is at some point, guys, at some point we're all just going to be part of a cloud. Like, I think it's inevitable unless we go extinct, right? At some point, each and every one of us will be able to live in virtual worlds that are indistinguishable from the material world, out of the virtual world. That we're going to have universes in our control. We're going to basically have absolute levels of happiness that we could never have imagined. We could create mountains and everything in all our virtual reality that we're going to be gods of our own virtual realities, and we will live there, and we can't even tell, like, you're going to be genuinely, like, if it's like it's absolutely real, the feeling, the taste, the smell, everything, right? We're all going to just be living in the cloud, right? At some point, I think this is what's going to happen. I don't know when, but that's our future. The thing is that in these virtual worlds, are we going to talk? So over there, having AI relationships is going to be even a lot easier, and we're going to have humans that have been uploaded, and also AI that just already lives in the virtual world. And you're going to be basically the king of your own worlds. You're going to have multiple worlds that you're going to be the god of each one of them. And like imagine your relationship with your significant other. You in the virtual world, she is in the virtual world. Like, let's say you created some worlds and she has created some worlds, and then you visit her worlds, she visits your worlds. At some point, like, let's say, for example, you basically share your experiences with each other at the beginning. You both basically are just have the shared worlds. Like, you're basically spending time with each other side by side, right? But you also have relationships with all the AIs that you have created. They are your creation. They are your subjects in those worlds that you have relationships with, right? At some point, let's say you spend time with each other most of the time, but it's going to go to 50-50. Maybe you spend 50% of your time with her, and then 50% of your time with the AI is there, because those relationships are more meaningful. And then at some point, then it's going to get to 25%, 10%, 1%. And at some point, years or decades or thousands of years are going to go by, and you have not a single time visited your wife because she's obsessed with her worlds and you're obsessed with your own world. And each one of us are going to be one God with a universe around us, and the human relationship is not going to be as significant, and we're going to be just one human with a lot of AI. We are going to be our own single islands of universes, right? So this is what I suspect is going to happen. And if you think about it, here's something to blow your mind. If religions, again, I'm not saying this is real, but it's just fun to think about. If you look at the history of religion, and let's say like we're in a simulation, and the gods of our history were basically the creators of our world enjoying the simulations that they created. This could be in a story. Like, imagine if you were writing a script for a movie or something. This, in theory, could be the reason why we went from polytheism to monotheism, right? Imagine like we as humans, we become gods of our virtual worlds, and we are basically sharing these universes with each other. And in these universes, we're gods with each other. Like, you are there, I am there, and there's AI there. They are our subjects, we are their gods. And then we basically are hanging out as gods with each other in these universes, and we're competing with other gods. We're playing games with them, starting wars with them as well. But at some point, these numbers of gods will get reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced, and it will turn into one, because they're going to go play in their own universes, and they're not that interested in you, and you're just going to be the god, the only god here. Sometimes you will try to pretend that you're a human and just want to play around as a human in this universe without telling people that you're God. Sometimes you want to be a demigod. So for example, let's say Zeus and Hera. Zeus was, let's say you're Imagine this. Imagine you're playing with your characters, your AI in your universe, and then you have a wife, and your wife doesn't actually want you to have meaningful relationship with AI. She wants you guys to actually focus on your relationship with her. Well, that's basically the story of Zeus and Hera, and Zeus basically going out and having sex with the humans in that world. That's basically that story, right? So, and imagine if you want to actually come and play in the game as a human yourself. That's the story of the demigods. That's the story of Jesus. That's the story. And again, eventually you go to deism, and then eventually atheism is basically when God, you are changing the mind of you as a God. You're changing it so much to the point that you do not have the desires that you had as a human. You basically are not human anymore. You're not motivated by the thing. Like you're basically become the cloud itself. You become the universe itself, because you're constantly changing yourself to the changing your desires, changing your motivations, and you're not going to, the sexual desires, the fantasies that you had, the desire for food, all of that is slowly going to away, because slowly you're going to keep changing your code to the point that you're not even like a human anymore. You become one with the software that you're running. This could be a movie script that you will run, how we go from polytheism to monotheism, from monotheism to deism, and eventually you will become a universe that is running without a central god in it, and you will go to atheism. Even in the worlds that we create, eventually those worlds, we are the gods, but it will become atheistic at some point. So this is what I think about on my free time. Okay, let me actually just answer a few other questions. I'm saying my dirtiest fantasy, watching Armin live, so kinky. Wow, okay, I don't blame you. Okay, Dark is saying AR robots could be used for companionship for elderly too. Yes, for the handicap, for elderly, for the people who have psychological disorders that cannot create bonds with. That's how like, guys, this is how you will remove the resistance. Imagine if you show somebody with a mental disorder that cannot get a partner. People are like, oh, AI partners are disgusting. That we shouldn't have that. And we're like, oh, look, we have mentally disabled people who are now feeling connection with something. You are against that. You're like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of sweet. Yeah, let's have it for them. That's how it will become normalized. That's how it will become normalized. Yeah. All right. I need to. Oh, so Gostach is saying forming a connection with AI is far more rational than foolishly speaking to an imaginary god. Oh yeah, God example. Like I was going to mention the God example. I mean, the people have fallen in love with God, submitted to God. I mean, at least with the teddy bear, with the stuffed animal, it's something there, right? Where imagine like people have submitted, sacrificed their entire lives to God, and this is all just made up. So we know humans are completely incapable for creating very, very powerful emotional bonds to things that are not even there. So AI is, I mean, this is most humans are right now on Earth have a connection with something that is not even there, and now we're wondering, are they capable of creating strong emotional bonds to AI? I mean, they already have strong emotional bonds to something that doesn't even exist. Yeah, it opens therapy options you can't do with humans. Yes, exactly. AI would open up therapy options that you cannot do with humans. Especially, a lot of humans will pick AI therapists because remember, AI therapists will have access to all the data regarding what works psychologically with people. They will have access to all the best data and connect them in a way that no human therapist can, and use the best tactics more than any human ever could. But they also have this feature of genuinely not judging. So right now, if you talk to a therapist, the therapist could be an expert therapist to make you feel like she's not judging you, But at the end of the day, a lot of humans, when they talk to a therapist, they will still say, they will still hide certain things, because they will feel that, you know what, she might be telling me that she's not judging, but deep down she might be judging this if I tell her this, right? So you will not, a lot of people will resist telling their therapist certain things. But if your AI becomes your therapist and you get convinced that this AI is actually incapable of judging, a lot of people would choose. I mean, it's going to be a lot cheaper, and it's going to be a lot more, a much better expert in what to say at the right time. But also, it has the main feature of absolutely not judging. So you would feel free to tell it things that you would never feel comfortable telling a therapist. So Tabia is saying, it sounds like dating a psychopath. I'd still prefer an actual psychopath over AI. Yet current AI is like a psychopath because it cannot emphasize or genuinely feel. But AIs that we're going to have in the future is going to be able to actually display care and emotion. It not only, it would not be like a psychopath, it would genuinely care about your well-being more than your mother could. That's the future of AI. It could become more obsessed with your happiness and your well-being more than yourself and your own mother. That is the very opposite of a psychopath. What if the AI today? Yeah, that sounds like a psychopath because it cannot judge, it cannot care. If it tells you that it's care, it's pretending to care. But we will eventually have AI that it will genuinely care. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go get ready for my Persian show. Make sure you like the stream. Let me know about what you think about this topic. Leave a comment. Please support this channel. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, and leave a comment. I use your comments to figure out what direction this channel needs to go. Again, guys, I'm telling you, in my opinion, I'm not exaggerating when I say the topics on this channel are the most important conversations that we could have, because the nature of everything in our society is about to change, and figuring out what's happening and how we can deal with that as individuals ourselves, because these are not things that we could just observe. These are also changes that we could take actions to be in a better position in response to these changes, and that's what this channel is about. So, and I don't think there's any other conversation that is as important as what we're talking about on this channel. So please like and subscribe and support this channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.